Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. And this is fun. Facebook has new pages and they tend to confuse me. Not that they didn't confuse me in the beginning, but they have a continual ability to confuse me and amuse me. So hopefully today I'm going to get some comments on the sidelines. I clicked a little box and we don't know what that does, but that's okay. We keep clicking boxes and showing up and not losing our sense of humor about anything that life is bringing to us. I think that's a message to start this talk with, is that when we surrender our sense of humor to the world around us, we've lost a part of ourselves that is very, very precious. And I'm hoping that each of you who arrive and show up for today's show, saying I'm live, is able to enjoy not only what I have to bring forth to you and the world, but also to recognize a part of yourself in me as being someone who is really trying to do the best we can under the circumstances that the whole world is experiencing right now. And so, that's where I've, come to realize that we don't always understand how much abundance that we have. We're always looking at things as a sense of, I need more, or I have less. And as I thought about that this morning, I realized that when we do that, we really diminish our own power. And we have this amazing abundance of power that we are just not tapping into. That is hard to explain on so many levels. But it's time we started tapping into that again. The fact that we have far more power than we've been taught, than we've been able to express, that we've been guided to use, but haven't. And right now, this compression, I look at it as a compression around planet Earth, is really directing us, forcing us, if you will, to pop inside of us. And I mean pop in a positive, energetic way. It's almost the message is coming. It's like the chunk of coal, the carbon, becoming under pressure. It becomes the diamond. That's in many ways what's happening to quite a lot of us. Those of you who are seeking answers in your own life and for your own situations, you are the forerunners of this. There are many people who are still caught in their everyday drama and they're not seeing anything outside of them. And that's where they are. And it's not good or bad. It's just they haven't reached that point of awareness yet where there is so much more. Again, abundance, abundance. And the reason, the card, this beautiful card here, is abundance. This is from that wonderful Sacred Space meditation cards. And look at all of the light, all of the moments of light, the flashes, the stars, the brilliance. That is the picture of abundance, really. The name of this is the Manium Galaxy. Okay? And it's just amazing how many stars are being born in that galaxy. And we're not aware of that at all. We live in our world, in our global atmosphere, protected and safe, without an awareness of what's truly happening all around us. And all of that thinks it's in its own little cocoon, and not aware of the greater abundance around us. And the message from this card is, my world is like the ocean, full of abundance. I am in tune with its rhythm. I flow with its ebb and tide. And it brought me to our oceans. How true is that? The abundance of our oceans. That even in the midst of all that we have done to the oceans, there is still this great abundance. No matter what we've done to our planet, there is still this great abundance. But we are feeling diminished. We get affected by the same things that the ocean gets affected by, the planet gets affected by. But instead of feeling and regenerating our abundance and still giving off our abundance, we're shrinking and shrinking. Now we're just holding the energy in our containers, our homes. We're not going out, we're not sharing. I mean, it's changing now, but we've come to this place of real restriction of abundance. And we have so much to be, to give, to do in this world, that we're all tiny little molecules of water in. Yeah, we're little tiny molecules of water in this physicality, in this framework, in this form. Abundance. How many parts are there to your body, moving and otherwise? Energetic, molecular. Abundance. This physical beingness is abundance. And it's an ocean. And it's an ocean because 99% of our molecular structure is liquid. It's water. I want you to think about your liquidity. How liquid are you? What does that mean for you? How do we need to express that more fully. So for me, this past week has been one of confusion about time, that regulatory pattern of our lives that we do things on time, by time, within time. And even though I have phones and calendars that beep me and blah, 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 tell me I'm not in sync with it anymore, or at least for this week. And maybe many of you have experienced that as well. What does that represent for me? And how do I read that? Is I look at that as that there's been a change. There's been a change in the frequencies of energies. Now, I don't label those changes good or bad. I just note that in my daily patterns of life, there's been some changes. How does that affect my world, my ocean of abundance? How does it affect your ocean of abundance? I'm still not seeing anything. Supposedly I have 100 characters under discussion here. Commenters, okay, multiple. I will try that. I'll click everything in the box. I don't know why people can't comment, and I don't know anybody to talk to that can inform me about that. So please bear with me, and I will read your comments later. Know that we are part of this big ocean, even though we can't see each other, even though we can't chat with each other. We are, really, truly a part of this ocean of abundance. So I want to talk about the ocean of abundance within us. Because as we look outside of us, so all of that is within us. This body is like a galaxy. It's a container. And in that container, that galaxy that we are, there are all of these planets and stars and everything that's happening outside is also happening within us. And as we are these small beings on this tiny planet in that big universe, we also need to honor all of that which is within us. And over the centuries, we've been distracted from this world within us by the world outside of us. And now, due to this virus, we've been challenged to focus within us, whether we wanted to or not. And many of us are not comfortable. Many of us are experiencing experiences that we didn't want to remember, that we stuffed way down in the ocean bottom and thought it'll never come up from there, and stuff is coming up for all of us. Personal issues, traumatic issues. And maybe that's the best thing that can happen. Perhaps that's part of the whole process, is to release all of this distortion, all of this unfairness, this pain, this judgment, this anger, this discord. Because as we move forward in our evolutionary path, that beautiful spiraling, we can't take it with us. And it's like a boat traveling through the ocean. and the wake behind it. They churn up the water, the spirals, and there's this path of still water behind it, into which everything just moves into the past, the wake of our moving forward. No longer to be seen. No longer, we don't have a rope long enough to pull it with us or to pull it back into us. And the ocean will accept that and transform that over what we call time. And here we are, travelers in time. Not just these outward physical bodies, but these inner beings, these energies, these bundles of energies that we are. So I want you to think this week about what we've been trained and taught over our lifetime, and what we've been trained and taught over thousands of lifetimes. Whether you believe you've had thousands of lifetimes, or whether you look at your ancestral roots. I read an article the other day, if you go back, I mean, there's like 8,000 people involved with our being here right now. You know, if you take your parents, and you go back, and I don't remember the whole thing, but I loved it. I thought and said, here is, I'm just the representation, the present representation of all of these beings who have lived. And had they not lived, I would not be here. I know in my own family, if my granddaughter doesn't have a child, it will be the end of that genetic lineage. She is the last female in that line. And so this is what happens. We carry not just our own issues sometimes, but the issues of our ancestors. And right now, we have an opportunity to not only adjust and let go of what is happening to us, but what's happened all the way in the past. What do we do today? We're shrinking our energy fields. We're shrinking our energy fields because they're painful. The experience is painful. And we don't like pain. We should be used to pain by now. After thousands and thousands of years of experiencing pain. But we've created a society today where they've tried to eradicate pain. Pain has a purpose. It's a signaling system. And behind that signaling system, the message is to come back into and trust who you are as this being who can actually understand everything in its environment without thinking. That you were designed specifically to be here in this environment, as wild and as crazy as it is. This is not an accident. You did not just jump over a fence and land here. This is all part of a greater plan. But what's happened is we've closed that field of energy down And then over the years, we've allowed others to communicate control over us, over our sovereignty, over our internal intelligence, which is an ocean of abundance. It's the ocean of all possibilities. And we've diminished ourselves access to that. And now we have to come back into opening the field of awareness to tap into that ocean of abundance. So that's what I wanted to do, is focus on this ocean of abundance, and that we are that. We are that. And we need to respect not only that, but we have to do it by respecting ourselves. And so as you read the headlines, which I don't, and I don't watch the news, I mean, it comes to me. You can't avoid it. Because I look at that as that's the story. That's the story. I'm not here to be the story. I'm being influenced by the story. And neither are you. We've become fascinated with the story. We've become enamored by the story and by storytelling. And this brings us less respect for ourselves. So we best respect ourselves by loving ourselves. And our abundance, I wrote it in the side path of the announcement here. We respect ourselves best by loving ourselves. Our abundance radiates in larger circles when love is present. And there is no limit to the ocean's power. There is no limit to the power of our love. And yesterday on the Global Heart Team on the connection field of the good of the whole, we did a meditation. And there were 8 of us present. And the power that went out around the world from that, from just 8 human beings collectively gathering in their hearts, was amazing. You could actually feel it within every cell of your body. And this is what we need to do. It becomes the ocean. Each one of us has the power of gathering with others and becoming an ocean that brings life and love to all living forms. And then when we fully recognize and believe in the power of our love, it quantifies it even more. I mean, it opens gateways for people who are not even seeking love or not even comprehending what's happening. The abundance automatically shifts them and they release the bondage that keeps them from seeing and feeling the truth of who they truly are as these divine beings. And each one of us are that. And this has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with spiritual practices. It is the essence, the pure essence of who we are. Of Course in Miracles has a statement. This is the whole card here. The whole card is, I gave only love to the kingdom because I believed that was what I was. What you believe you are determines your gifts. And that's what I wrote in my show notes. It's the simple statement, what you believe you are determines your gifts. So if you're feeling small, that's what you're going to give, is small. If you're feeling negative, you're going to give negative. You may not intentionally do that. You may not want to do that. It may be the furthest thing from what you want to do. If you're feeling pain, you are going to give pain. If you believe that that's what you are, and that's all you can give, that's what you will give. Is it just mind over matter? Of course not. But again, we have to shift our awareness to this ocean of abundance to realize that if I'm only picking these little parts out to look at and draw into my body and say, this is what I'm feeling or this is what I am, that's all I'm going to give. I want you to believe and to see that you are all of the oceans, not just one ocean, all of the water, the oceans of the water of the oceans. That is who you are. That powerfulness. I want you to realize that you have that much power. Because the action of our believing this has been distorted over thousands of years, intentionally and unintentionally. The word believe, the definition is to accept something as genuine or real. Note those words, to accept something. Doesn't mean it's real, but we accept it as real. Another definition is to hold an opinion. Doesn't make it real in that moment. What we're doing is thinking, and through the thinking, by connecting and saying and accepting, we open the gateway. We open the gateway of belief. And it's in that belief, that word we use, belief, and believing, that the energy transforms from thought to reality. And we need to be aware more of how our thinking has been programmed. It is programmable, and it's programmable through energies around us. And in the beginning, it was just overbearing parents and rulers. Now we have technology. Now we have all of these systems, sonar, radionics, all kinds of things that are influencing. The whales in the ocean are being disturbed by the sonar waves. We're being disrupted and programmed continually by media, by leaders who want more power, by people who want to point out that one person or one group of people is evil and this is insanity. This is insanity. And our biggest challenge right now, as I come to 10:30, is to trust our unique and individual awareness, which speaks to us both physically and emotionally. So in wrapping this up, I pulled a card. I love the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. There's just so many good writings in that. I'm not advertising, but I was given to that. I was introduced that in the back of a van with people from around the world that I never met, heading to a gathering where we were going to learn a water protocol and blessing. And since then, I've just been enamored with it. But the card number 34, it's called the Amaryllis Lute. And the main quote I want to bring forth is, "You have won a victory, beloved, a victory over the past." And as I discussed about the past, you can look about the past in your own lives and your own genetic family's, history. We've outgrown that. And so it's like children outgrowing their clothes. They no longer fit. It's just that simple. Let go of the drama. What's happening no longer fits. I can't wear it anymore. We're shifting, we're changing, we're evolving. And if you throw it into the water behind you as it goes back, you toss it into the wake behind you, the ocean waters behind you, and keep moving forward, we will outdistance everything that has gone on, and it will no longer have any energy because we are not connecting our energy to it anymore. And this is what you see playing out in the world right now. And this is what the media wants to do, and this is what the governments wanted to do. They want to focus your energy on what they want, not in your best interest. And it's time now we come back into our sovereignty, our real sovereignty, the sovereignty of being the oceans that we are, the powerful oceans of abundance, so that the energies which distort us and create the walls around us, the dams, the containers, no longer have any power over us. And we will operate together as a collective whole, standing in a collective sovereignty, wherein the best interest of each other is not something we have to put into our hearts. It's flowing from our hearts as it was in our most natural state of beingness. So, my dear friends, I am complete. I am whole. I am in love. I am in love with you. And I say those words, and people who know me personally, some will say, "Oh, he's just crazy." And some will say, "Well, he doesn't always act like that." And all of that is true. I'm crazy, and I don't always act in the way that I speak because I'm human. But I'm willing to accept it, admit it, and learn to change that. And so are you. And until we collectively decide to change that, we're going to stay in this dance of frequency, which is erratic, not pleasant, and we won't evolve. You are an important part in the evolution of humanity. And I want you to honor that in the best way you can. And I want you to be gentle with yourself as you do it. And know that there's nobody you can look at square in the eyes who isn't going to the same thing, although it may be a different form at this moment in the evolution of humanity. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. We are that ocean of love. We are that ocean of potential. See you out there on the waves. Have a great week. And if I'll figure out where I close in live video. Oh, that's in the same spot. I will end this live video. And off you, my love.